Allow me to demonstrate the skill of Shaolin, the special technique of shadow boxing.
Everyone, we're gonna do something different today, and I'm showing you some of the books in my manga / Chinese Kung Fu collection. And I don't know if one or two people are gonna look at this, but these are not by any means American comic books. These are Chinese books. Most of them are in Mandarin or Cantonese, which I cannot read, but I do have some volumes that were published in America by very different artists and writers. And I thought I would show this because there's more to comic book collecting than what's, generalized as collecting in America. And there's so many different things out there, so many different books, so many different aspects of artwork that we should be a little bit more diversified, and we should be a little bit more aware of the diverse cultures that are out there and what they have to bring to various different mediums. I was always a Kung Fu dude. Watched Kung Fu movies back in the days on Saturday when it came on Channel 5 at 3 o'clock. And, always followed Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, and all the different various people, Michelle Yeoh, Zhang Ziyi, Chow Yun Fat, all those cool actors and stuff. And I kind of stumbled upon this guy when some of his books were being published in America, and they stopped it. And along with this fellow whose books you see in the background, Wing Shing Ma, his publishing company, I guess they had a deal with an American publishing company, and they began to put out massive amount of volumes of Chinese books. I guess they weren't as well received as the Japanese manga, but to me, to a certain extent, they are better than the manga. So I'm going to show you a few books here, and hopefully you'll stick around to the end and you'll see something that you like. You'll be a little intrigued, and just enjoy the video. So the first book we're going to show, I'm going to kind of go from my least favorite to my favorite book, I guess. And it's, okay, we'll do the legendary couple first. And this is by Louis Cha and Tony Wong. Tony Wong writes quite a bit of these books. And these volumes here are all like trade paperback type of books. This is a wraparound cover for this one. This, and all of these books are Kung Fu related, and most of these characters are like super powerful, like anything. I guess most people would compare them to something like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach or Naruto or something to that effect. But all of them have various different abilities in all the books that I'm going to show you. They're like superheroes, but all their abilities derive from martial arts in general, whether it be poison abilities, wind and air abilities, being elementals, or anything deriving from the animal kingdom as such. And I'm not going to open all of these books, but you can try to show you some. It's pretty cool stuff there. I don't know how that's coming through, but the coloring on these books is spectacular. And Louis Cha, he's pretty decent. He's not one of my favorites, but, it's one of the preachers I knew said he'd do all right from time to time. Now we have Weapons of the Gods, and this is written and illustrated by Tony Wong. He's pretty famous. I think he did Legendary Heroes and Mega Dragon and Tiger also, which I guess most people would probably know if they saw the Mega Dragon and Tiger movie with Donnie Yen in it. And this is a total like sword and sorcery type of thing. Super mystical weapons made from amber and dinosaur bones, and it's totally weird. But, you know, if you ever think of The Sword and the Sorcerer, Conan, with a lot of mysticism and kung fu in it, it's pretty dope. So, yeah, this also is a wraparound cover with just the cape going to the other side. A lot of them are like that. Let's see. Some of the interiors. A lot of, I wouldn't even say damsels in distress, but a lot of super evil, powerful guys. Somebody getting saved by someone else. Good stuff. They also have really cool techniques that they do as such. Very dynamic storytelling. That book is great. And now I'm going to go to one of my favorites. This is Andy Seto and his stuff. And if anybody watches Kung Fu films, they'll be quite familiar with this. Shaolin Saga. I believe that whole book is done by Andy Seto. Couldn't find book one. I guess it's buried somewhere or something. But that book is dope. I forgot the actor that plays in it, but he's like a martial arts comedian, similar to Jackie Chan. And this book is very ridiculous. But the movie was quite hilarious. That's, if it'll focus there, you can see it. And all of this is done, I believe, in like digital color and stuff like that. Really, really good stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I had the video on 1080p, and on this phone it's only a couple of minutes long. So let us continue. We have The Four Constables, another book turned into a film by Tony Wong and Andy Seto. And this book is pretty dope. One of the Four Constables is crippled. The other one's like retired. He doesn't want to fight anymore. But these guys, I guess, are like lawmen or some such or whatever. And I get these books for the artwork and you know, the fighting and all of that good stuff that's in it. These books, yeah, these when they started getting really, really nice with the digital color and superior paper and stuff. Yeah, but you gotta be, I mean, for this genre specifically is very much for the Kung Fu fanatic. You know, if you're into Street Fighter and the Jackie Chan flicks and all of that stuff, the Jet Li and the Donnie Yen flicks. And of course we have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And that is by, the story is by Wang Dulu, who had written, I think, 7 books for the Crouching Tiger. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was only one of the 7 books. But, you know, it's Americans, we gotta make a series out of everything. And Andy Seto did the artwork in this, which I think this is his best work in this book. And obviously this is number 12. Some of the books came with like little, I guess, letter opener weapons of some of the main characters, which was dope. We got a Green Destiny inside a hardcover version. It's like little slot where the sword goes. It's pretty dope. And this one, I think, came with a trading card in the inside. It's like it's pretty dope. See that there's the one on the left side with the woman there. That's not an insert, but this is a solid book right here. Sorry for the glare. Shiny, shiny paper. But the fighting techniques and stuff in here is crazy. Look at the colors. Beautiful technique. Chinese storytelling at its best. And that's the back of the book there. Has the little intertwining dragons on the back. And Comics One, HK Comics, produced these books. Now I'm going to get into my favorite Chinese creator. And to me, I think he is the best artist / writer to ever come out of China. He's retired now. And he worked on this one book. I'll show 2 other books of his first. But he is a master. He did these 3 books in the background. Wing Xing Ma. And speaking of Jet Li, he did a graphic novel representation of the movie Hero that Jet Li did a few years ago. And, you know, it speaks for itself. Phenomenal piece of artwork. Dare I say it's better than the film? I believe it is. This guy is a master artist and storyteller, truly capturing the heart of the Kung Fu world. Like, he really, really knows what he's doing. When Jet Li character in the film fought Donnie Yen's character, yeah, man. It's, and they all did it in their mind or whatever the fight was, but they didn't even move. He really captures that conflict. You know, it's a really, really dope book. This book is flaming fire. And that's a Hero. And he also did a lot of his creator-owned stuff, created from other books and things like that. There's a book called Heaven Saw a Dragon Saber. Excuse me. Magnificent. And this series was not finished in English. Oh, I was so upset. I think it went up to like issue 11 or something like that. Like I said, these books, you know, huge volumes. Huge volumes. And I really like the first main character because his name is Jason. They call his name Jason Chang. He was the philosopher, Kung Fu artist. And even though he dies and his son kind of inherits the power, etc. But really a beautiful and marvelous book. This is one of Wing Xing Ma's later books, and also one of his best, you know, because he's one, I believe he does the coloring and everything on his books. He's like a one-man army, this guy. And another book that he did all by himself, and this is like I guess it's like a common version of what they make a lot of Kung Fu flicks out of now in China and stuff. Very modern. But these guys got swords and special abilities and all that cool stuff. It's pretty dope. I guess he would be like a Chinese version of James Bond. And Black Leopard was dope. I cannot even begin to tell you. The reading in these books. Oops. Yeah, I'll go getting happy. Beautiful, beautiful, man. I was buying these more than regular comic books back then. I think it was like in the early 2000s, late 90s. I bought these. really, in the action flicks, always gotta have the dames. Know what I mean? Yeah. That's good stuff right there. And of course, his long-standing creator-owned book, which he started way back in the days. And I don't know if I have any of those volumes out, but they were done in watercolor originally, just pencil and watercolor. And obviously he, graduated to digital color, tightened up his pencils, I guess when he got on a good schedule and all of that. But I think the book lasted up to over 500 issues he did by himself. I didn't get those last issues. But he canceled the book and put the last issue, in a museum, so only the people that subscribed to the book could get it. But that's because there's so much bootlegging in China that, I guess the last 10 volumes or whatever, he stopped making money. So he was like, forget it. And everybody, I guess they got an email or whatever to come down to the museum, and you actually got to walk around and see the props from the movies and different things, and actually read the last comic book on the wall. It was pretty dope. They had pictures of it, but I didn't get it because he didn't publish it. And this right here, two of the main characters right here, his name is Wind. I believe his Chinese name is Nai Fong. And all his special abilities are like kicking abilities and stuff like that. His special technique is called Deity of the Wind Kick. And he is a beast. And this is one of the Chinese volumes, which these usually are like twice the thickness of an American volume. And yes, it's all, it's backwards. The book goes backwards. Great stuff, though. Look at that. Ripped the bone right out of his arm with one punch. Gotta love that. That guy will never fight the same ever again. Never. He's finished. But he's still fighting on with one hand. With one hand, he's still trying to get it. And that's Cloud that he's fighting. That's the back. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. You never know what's out there. Somebody in America really need to pick this up. But show you some of my American volumes. This is issue number 1. Yes, I have them in plastic. And that is Nai Fong, Wind, when he was a young boy. And that's his father's sword, the Snowy Saber. And anybody that plays Dungeons and Dragons or Final Fantasy or anything like that will understand that the sword itself has an ice element to it, which is pretty dope. So that combined with his Deity of the Wind Kick, he can actually kick the sword and do flips and sword techniques with his kicking ability and his sword ability combined. Oh, I miss this stuff. This is volume 2. And what they did, unfortunately, with a lot of this stuff, this character here, I never even got to know this character's name. This character here doesn't even come into the book until issue 100 and something. It's up there. But they, I guess it was a really cool picture. And he looked like Wind. I mean, he looks like Cloud, but it's not Cloud. But they put him on the cover anyway, which was pretty dope. But can't complain. It's all good. And they hanging out with the Americans a little bit. Get the sideways cover. And that's Cloud. I think his Chinese name was Bu Yang Ying, or something like that. And his original hand-to-hand combat technique was called the repelling palm. But then as he progressed, there was a Buddhist monk that had the Buddha's palm, and he kind of gave his spirit to Cloud. So he has the repelling palm and he has the Buddha's palm. And then later on he becomes a disciple of Nameless to become one of the greatest swordsmen in this series. And my favorite character from Storm Riders is Nameless. And he doesn't have a Chinese name. He is Nameless. Because when he was born to a very poor family. And his father was a drunk and this and that, you know, the regular downtrodden character or whatever. But he was destined to become what they call the Heaven Sword. And this character right here, I'm, you know, they made Storm Riders films, and it was alright. It was a little B-graded to me personally, a little weird. But this character right here, I'm surprised that Donnie Yen has not made a Nameless film yet. This character is phenomenal. I guess if you would think of, wow, if there was a Superman or a Adam Warlock type wizened character, if Yoda was a kung fu master, it would be Nameless. Definitely. And later on he gets his hand ripped off, and even with that he's like unstoppable. Every time he gets defeated he comes back more powerful. And Volume 5, Wind and Cloud together. And the whole premise of this book pretty much revolves around these two characters. And there's a character, Conquer, who is pretty much the Kung Fu King in this book series. And it has been destined that these two will bring him down from his glory. So he recruits both of them when they're kids. So if they work for him, then they can't take him down. But we know how that goes. And that's all I'm going to show you for the trade paperbacks of Storm Riders. That's the back of that one. I don't think I showed you the back of any of those. And he had like the actual regular comic books, like what they call the thin volumes in China. I'm going to show you a few of those. And I actually have those in a magazine Mylar. And I sent one of these books to CGC. I'm going to say this before I show these books. I sent one of these books to CGC, and I didn't have it pressed because I didn't know what it would do to the book. And, you know, apparently it had, you know, some cover dents or whatever in it. I guess that must have happened through being shipped or whatever. The book looked perfect, I'm going to tell you that. And they gave it a 7. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then the book was crooked, and the thing is in the holder all messed up or whatever, so I'm going to resubmit it. I'm going to give them another try. What I didn't know is that I should have submitted it as a magazine for the oversizedness of it. It's not as wide as a magazine, but it's like 2 centimeters taller than the average magazine. But you live and learn, right? So I'm going to resubmit that one of these days, and we're going to see. And I'm going to have it pressed. And we're going to see if we can turn that 7. Because ain't nothing else wrong with the book except for these quote-unquote cover dents in it. And there's, you know, cover dents and spine stress. But ain't no color breaks in it. Ain't no tears. No blunted edges. Nothing. So if they press this book, word up. It should come back from a 7.0 to a 9.6 at least. This book is perfect. I'm going to show that book last. So let me show you these thin volumes of Storm Riders. And all the thin volumes are in Mandarin. So take a peek. And that's Conquer right there. That's and in China it's called Tinza, not Storm Riders. That's what that means. That's Tinza, and that's Wing Xing Ma's name, I believe. And that's $454. And no, I did not pay $43 for that book. I did not pay $43 for that book. The price is down there. I did not pay $43 for that. And this was part of a series that they did. These were connecting covers. And each volume of this came with a small action figure. I don't know if I have the action figure for that. Yeah, just stare at that for a minute. Well, I didn't find Conquer, but I found another character who came later on, and I could not find his name because I can't speak Chinese. But it came with figures like this, which was pretty dope. And that came in the package, like it was with the comic, and this came in the package with. Unfortunately, these dudes ship not in boxes, but in those manila envelopes and stuff. Oh my god. And it has a really cool artwork on the back. But yeah, man, this is some of my favorite stuff right here. Yeah, this is one of the books. Tensai 444, and I'm gonna get this graded too. This is a wraparound cover, but I'm not taking it out because it's in the Mylar, and we'll leave it at that. And that's one of the newer characters. He has like a demon inside of his sword, and it has the symbol that's on his gauntlet here, and like this giant snake. It's like a 90-foot anaconda that follows him around. Pretty dope. And I don't know his name either, but he initially becomes a disciple of Wind, and Wind puts him on until he turns into a monster. Excuse me, which so many disciples do. Okay, and this character here, his name is Surtur, and he's Japanese. He's one of the only Japanese characters in here, and he fights with 2 weapons, and like his spirit animal or whatever is the wolf, and oh, he's a beast. Nameless washes him up though. Washes him up. Tensai 448, which I do have the toy for that. I think I saw. But you'll pardon me while I navigate the matrix. Yep, that was Darth Vader. I don't know if I can put these. Oh, I messed up the package on this. Yeah, that sound was me putting it back together again. See if we could do that. Bow. That's tough, right? Y'all didn't know trying to be doing it like that, son. I'm telling you, y'all don't know what you're... In the artwork in these books, these later issues, like, I guess, like, after 250 up, oh my goodness, this dude was raining terror. Lord have mercy, man. This stuff. Wing Shing Ma is the best. In my opinion. And Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. Alex Ross. Well, I can't say Alex Ross. He's just a straight painter. But all of the comic book illustrators, you can, people talk about they Bernie Wrightsons and they Jim Lees and all of these other guys. But personally, Wing Shing Ma is to me, is a better illustrator, better painter, and a better draftsman than most American comic book illustrators. It's my opinion. You can turn the video off now without. Y'all gotta excuse me, it stopped again. Like I was saying, this artwork here is the pinnacle of comic book illustration. And I'm going to end this video with one of the best covers of the books that I have, and this will most likely, if CGC does me right when I send my 7.0 back in to be graded, this is the next one that I'm gonna send in. And this, oh man, talk about the Wall of Fame. Cloud with ultimate sword and the dragon at his feet. That is just a wonderful piece of artwork right there. Y'all just, I feel like Agent Smith in the Matrix right now. When he was talking to Morpheus, looking over the city, he said, "Have you ever stared at it and marveled at its beauty?" Yeah, man. Wing Chun Ma is a beast. So, I thought that was the last thing I was going to show you, but China also does the little foil covers, just like America. This was an anniversary book. I think there were, was that issue 400? Some Wing Chun Ma is funny. He does a variant cover, but he'll do all the variants himself. He's a beast. But that's Wind and Cloud, the young disciple in the background. I don't know his name, but he's a monster too, man. He's a monster. And I'll move this camera back real quick, and I hope you guys have stuck with me for these 20 some odd minutes. I don't want to make y'all mad, but we gotta do what we gotta do and share what we gotta share. And that is Tensar 441. That is a wraparound cover, a special edition, which also came with an action figure, and I'm not gonna dig it out and make you guys angry at me. So I hope you have enjoyed this special edition of Kung Fu Comics by Sensei Hodges at From Heroes to Icons. And yeah, I'ma say it, even though it's a Chinese comic book day, I will catch you at the same bat time and at the same bat channel. Peace.